Well, it's cool that, you can check me out. I put up, videos so you can actually see Dick Wilson in real time, so to speak. Actually, there's parts of the video where I catch him playing,
Mm-hmm.
and he's clearly all over me. And so we've been working on what is the squeeze and release, right? And how do you explain that to somebody? There are things up right now on the internet, and they're very cool. And then you'll talk to somebody else and get another perspective, and then you have to decide, well, what's really happening here, and what is the best way to teach this? Dick Wilson would say, I'm using the very best words in the English language to facilitate your ability to understand this technique, so that there's no better way to explain what to do than what I'm telling you. Now, is that true? So we were working on this idea of squeeze and release because it has a lot to do with playing. Now, I was mentioning to a student on Saturday, I talked to him about the follow through, right? And what is that? And I mentioned to him that my brothers, the entire family moved to Florida so that my brothers, who were world ranked in Canada in tennis, could study with the legendary Dick Wilson of tennis, who is Nick Bollettieri. And then I'm here in LA, and where I swim, it's a tennis and swim center. It's like Nick Bollettieri will be here tomorrow, teaching a clinic. It's like, so I head over there, right? And I got my camera, and I videoed it, and it's up on my channel because he fixes this guy based on the follow through. Very cool. I'll send it to you. Okay, you can find it. It's up there for anyone who wants to check it out. He just completely fixes this kid like that. Okay. And that's the indication that you really, so that when you're asked a question, if you really know what you're talking about, you should be able to answer it, I think. And so the idea of the follow through, I believe, has a lot to do with squeeze and release, right? So the other thing that is really important, and it's not always demonstrated, even though that person may be teaching the Richard Wilson technique. And I don't remember Murray talking about it, but the angle, Dick Wilson would say that when you actually make a throw, if you really throw, the stick doesn't go this way. It becomes it's an extension of the arm. It wants to go that way. Now, Jack Verga has a very cool way of hanging out with Jack, and he's expressing what I remember Dick Wilson telling me, right? And so it's interesting, like going back in time. But so, and some of it might just be his own interpretation, or having studied for years with Dick. But so the grip, I've shown you different ways to get it. Martinez has his way of getting it, and right? And so there are other words that can be used to explain this technique. I get that. Um, so I'll share this with you because I really dig this. I think this is really helpful. So I've had you do the whole Chuck Silverman thing. We come up, I've had you bend forward, right? You kind of get the idea, right? Yeah, that was pretty good. Right? So what would happen if you were to bring the fingers, just bring the fingers together, cozy them up. Just the fingers. See how they're open? What would happen if you see? Because if you shake, go ahead and shake everything out. Just get into some natural childlike state. And you come up, and if you're bent forward like that, they'd be kind of open, and you snuggle them together. Go ahead and snuggle them together. Don't be all weird, just gently, cozy. They wouldn't be straight because they're kind of bent, and you just kind of bring them together. Their shape doesn't change too much. Yeah, kind of like that, right? And then if you came up, and the thumb would come in, see, there you go. It's that simple. See, this technique really is very simple. That's it. Right. Now, that angle thing that I'm talking about, it's a big deal. You can get really fast playing in lots of different ways. Practice over and over and over, you're going to get fast. Right? How efficient is it? How relaxing? So we're looking into this way of playing that is legendary for a reason, I believe. Right, so the idea that we're here, right? And so I've given you the idea that you're just going to bring your fingers together, right? And you're just, that's it. Right? Now that would happen if you did this, but I find that interesting. Bring the fingers together. And you come up and you just got this natural thing. Now, if you are holding a stick, and so get up, join me here for a minute. So just go ahead and so you got that grip, so go ahead and let the stick dangle. Yeah, you see? It's what you're doing right now is pretty natural. But the problem is we don't have the alignment that I was describing. Mm-hmm. So Dick would be all over you about, you want the stick to almost be an extension of the forearm. Not quite, but almost. Mm-hmm. You see? So that means we're going to go from this position into this position with this grip that I showed you. Uh-huh. And I find that very helpful. Yeah, it looks really good. So that when you make a throw, there is an alignment. See, there's an alignment. Dick would talk about how there is a tendon that runs. You might be able to see it. That runs from this area of the hand. It's a tendon that runs from the first knuckle, and it runs all the way to the wrist area here on the opposite side. And he said this, when you really get this alignment correct, the stick follows that tendon. That's how detailed he was about it. But really, he didn't go around making this stuff up because it was like a head trip. He just, as a kid, was playing in a way that people would come on and say, "What are you doing?" I don't know. He looked down and he went, "Oh, well, here's one thing I noticed." He just noticed things based on what he was already doing. Okay, so there's that. Now this idea, pardon me, of this cool thing that we've been working on, right? Because I told you, if you bend forward, the fingers open, don't they? Right? We know that. With no stick in your hand, they would just open, and then with a stick in your hand, why would that go away? It might not be as profound because you're holding something. So we've got this particular grip with this particular angle, and we're not playing like this. Not that there's anything wrong with that, really. Well, maybe there is, I don't know. Dick would think that there is something wrong with that.
It makes sense.
And he would want you to create this particular line. Okay? So, and my pad is set up for tradition with these lines. So, the lines are important. So this is something we want to feel. And so we have this position, and we're at the floor, which is a 1/2 inch to 1 inch parallel bead to butt end from the playing surface. And the stick is just laying in the hand. And if we bend forward, the hand opens. Yeah. You have that alignment, right? That alignment isn't going to change. It's nothing weird. You're just here, and you're just bending forward.
I just put it down like that.
You're just lowering the stick like that. Not bad. Now, here's what I've been hit to recently, because Jack Verga actually did study with Murray and Dick Wilson. And so I was unfamiliar with this distinction. I find it, I'm going to share it. And that is that it seems as though Murray wasn't as adamant about what the first finger and thumb were doing. Dick Wilson, so that when I gotta be real careful because, but I think that what some of Murray's students and what Murray may have thought was appropriate is because when you bend, what happens? When you bend forward, what happens?
Your hand?
The hand, everything opens up.
Open. Yeah.
Even the thumb and first finger.
Yeah.
Right? And so for Murray, I guess, the idea that maybe the first finger could move a little bit when your hand opens, so that now the thumb has more responsibility to keep that stick in the fulcrum so that you can play. The stick doesn't go flying. So now suddenly it's changed the thumb. Dick was adamant about the hand does what I'm describing. It opens and closes the wrist, but that we have to maintain a firm, comfortable, and constant grip in the thumb and first finger. See, that's a really big deal. So that the rest of the hand will open. Remember, we snuggled the fingers up. We brought we got it. And the fingers will open, but not the thumb and first finger. They have to remain firm, comfortable, and constant. And that enables us to not have to compensate with the thumb in that the first finger is also releasing. We don't want the first finger releasing. It's just firm, comfortable, and constant. Okay? So that's kind of a big deal. Okay. So when we bend forward, when we touch, and the hand opens, the first finger and thumb it wouldn't go up like that. It goes down. The stick gets lowered. See, my butt end is watch. My butt end is going down. And I somehow see you like this or something. I don't know what.
Yeah, it's my fault.
Yeah, it might be the angle too. I
have to open the hand up more.
Well, you don't open the hand up, that's the secret. It has to come from the wrist. So maybe you need to pronate a little more.
Yeah, like that.
That would be a better way of saying it. But don't, see, you've lifted up already, so don't go lifting. You're just gonna lower that stick, thinking about this grip, this angle,
yeah.
The first finger and thumb being firm, comfortable, and constant, and knowing that the hand will open and the stick will go down thusly. Goes down what feels like it's going down parallel.
Yeah.
Okay, now what happens? Who knows? Now, the idea of thinking that we need, because Murray Spivak has Louis Belson make a tap and then has him go up. And the stick is coming away from the palm right about here. The stick is completely perpendicular to the floor. But at that point, and Louis come up so slowly that the stick is on the palm. So he moves it away because Murray says, and now the stick's off the, Louis moves it away. Because, okay? And then he says, and he calls that cocking the wrist. He says, and now if you want more power, you can cock again. And now he's like back here.
Mm-hmm.
See, Dick never taught me that. I'm learning that he didn't teach that way. What Dick was doing was very different.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So because now your hand is opened up. Right? That means at some point it's got to close. When does it close? See, I think this technique is even simpler than this. If you follow Wilson's approach. And so that is, we get that release. You call that a release, right? We've got down the first finger and thumb have remained firm, comfortable, and constant. We have a particular alignment, particular grip. Fingers are all kind of together, right? And then we start to come up, right? And as we start to make, and see, we got this going on. Come on up a little, come on up. Bring that butt end up a little, right? It's got the alignment, got nothing, and we've got this going on. Just do this. Do you feel the weight of the stick on the butt end? Feel the butt end, weight of the stick so that the butt end is on the palm? See?
It wasn't on my palm, I had it loose. Now it's on my palm.
Yeah, and then if you do this, it would come away and then it would drop back onto it. Because there's, this is just normal. So we notice that. So let's try it again. So we're here, and we're going to do this routine. Fingers open up. There's a release. And then we go up, and at some point, right about now, it seems like the butt end just pops back onto the palm, doesn't it?
Hmm? Yeah.
Right?
It has to.
Yeah. Now, this idea of using gravity, what is it? Force? I wrote it down. What is it? It's gravity. Yeah, gravity times mass equals force.
Mm-hmm.
We have mass. We have gravity. Right? And so with those two things combined, we come to the top of the motion, or the apex of the apotheosis, right? We're at the top. Right? And from here, as Murray does describe it, Jack describes it this way as well. Once you lift your foot up here, it just goes down. This is the top, and then that's the bottom. Try it with your foot. Roll up on the ball of your foot, feel the whole thing come up, and then let it drop. See, that's what's happening here. It's just gonna drop. So that's very different than this Murray Spivak idea of letting the hand open and coming up. That seems very different, doesn't it?
It feels different, and it doesn't, honestly, I don't know where I'd ever use that, to be honest with you.
Well, just play along here with me, right? So what we've got now is we've got this release, and then we're coming up, and now the butt end is popped back to the palm, and I'm at the top, and for volume, it's not about how much of this I'm going to do, or throwing my hand open, and I know one talks about it, but that I don't believe was what Dick was doing. It's more simple than that. It's pretty hip. But now we're here, and then everything just collapses. Which is, by the way, before I started recording, kind of what you were doing. Yeah, actually, I said it looks good. You weren't giving me this stuff.
Not just let the stick fly and go do what it wants to do. And I'm trying to do something that's effortless.
Well, those are all just words. Let's just continue on with this tact. Okay, so we've got the release. This is not done yet, right? And then we're depending. So the force isn't about, yes, you can, that would be considered, Murray would call pulling the finger thrust. But this, I think Dick Wilson would call doing this kind of thing, adding thrust. He did tell me about that once, but he said, I'm not ready for it. And so we're going to release. We're going to come up, the butt end's good, and depending on how high, because it's how high we really make this beautiful throw, this beautiful motion that will, because we're not doing this.
No.
It's just, it happens, it's that idea. He talks about, Bill Bachman talks about the idea, you leave your wrist loose, and if you flick your arm, the wrist, if you leave everything relaxed, the wrist moves. There's some of that going on, perhaps, right? So all we're doing is we're just making a motion. We're not turning our wrist.
Oh. Natural.
Right. So if you want to come, so let me continue on this tact. So if we only come up to so high, we're only going to get so much volume, and it's up to come down. So that if we really are in touch with gravity and the way the body works, the speed that we go up would be the speed that we come down. It makes it easier to leave the bead down too, you'll notice?
Yeah.
Go up and down at the same speed. See how it's easier to leave the bead down. Okay, so the stick is away from the palm, but it's away from the palm. It's on the palm. Why would it go away from the palm?
You hear it to go that way.
Why would you do that? Why would you throw your hand over? Why would, because now it's got to close. That's extra movement. So on the butt end is on the palm, and we just make this motion up to come down. The speed that we go up is the speed we go down. Now, if we were to come up very lethargically, now we won't have the timing of the entirety of the motion. So now to get power on the way down, you might have to turn your wrist, I guess, add thrust. If we do it in the way that I believe Dick Wilson describes, everything just remains, as you said, very natural. It's the height and the speed that we come up will determine what kind of volume we get. Sure, we can add if we want. Bam! How often would we do that? You can. So we know that exists. All right? All right. So now there's one more aspect of this, because if you recall, I'm showing you what is another way of thinking about squeeze and release. So what happens, and by the way, when we add thrust, that really seems to get the stick to want to come up like, the stick wants to bounce around. See, and even if we don't add thrust, the stick, as we get to the surface, every action has an equal or opposite reaction. It's that equation, right? So that the stick is going to react to the surface and want to do that. And we don't want that to happen. That's where the squeeze and release comes in. And that's the follow through. So we've gone up, coming down, And when we get to the surface, it's still on the palm. We haven't done all this stuff. No, it's this beautiful fluid motion. And so what we're going to do is, when we get to the surface, the stick is going to want to pop up a little bit. So that's when we squeeze. Middle finger, all the fingers work together, but the middle finger predominantly leads, and it's going to squeeze. That's your follow through.
If you want to get a rim shot, you can be a little harder. It's not just harder, but it's actually even easier if you just bring your hand down lower.
So if we wanted to come all the way up, it wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter how, Dick Wilson sometimes, and then you'd be up here, he'd say, right? So what we're looking to do is incorporate all of this information into one cohesive concept. And so butt ends on the palm, it's coming down, I get to the surface, it wants to bounce up, and I squeeze, and I hold that squeeze. Maintain that squeeze until I'm ready to release again. And then I squeeze, and then I can release again. And then as that stick goes to bounce up to control the rebound, I squeeze. Dick would say you only squeeze what you release. So you start to get that feeling. See if I can. So this thing is really relaxed. It's not a bunch of wrist turn this way. It's just a motion with a really relaxed wrist. And if I just make the motion small, I get that. If I make it big, I get, or if I make it big, I get that. If I make the motion fast, small, I get that. If I make it big and fast, I get that. And that's what we're doing. We're not thinking about this Murray Spivak thing with the hand opening up and coming up and pointing at this. It's different.
You don't want tension in your fingers or hands either, more. It's just that.
But you do, yeah. You will be a little
tension. Just the follow through.
But for the follow through, and then that tension gets released.
Yeah.
See, now does not make sense.
Energy.
Isn't that a cool way to describe it?
You're releasing it also if you held tight, you could like shock your arm or something like that. That would hurt. You know what I mean? You ever like get like that pain that shoots up your arm way back into the oak sticks? You know, it's like I don't know what you would call it, a shock, but I get it.
Yeah. So it's very simple. You know, it's not okay. So I'll stop there. That's a really good start. So now can we put that into practice? So I had you what? Did I have you at 40 or 60? For alternating flares.
Maybe all over the place.
Last lesson. Well, let's see where it'll work today, because I'm showing you something a little more, somewhat unique to you. Okay, so at 40, play eighth note flams, alternating flams. No.
I did,
You don't start like this. You start here. First, you get your grip. Then you're going to come up and make sure that you have a proper angle. Stick relative to the forearm. Okay, with that grip. Right? First finger and thumb are firm, comfortable, and constant.
Okay, I ruined it.
Okay, so we're playing eighth notes. So we can start to get release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release, squeeze, release. So it doesn't do that. I have to squeeze. But I'm not going to squeeze The stick just is laying in my hand. Okay, now, you're not, the release has to be authentic. The release has to be, honestly, that's why it's so important to be here at the floor. The release has to do this. The butt end has to come away from the palm or you haven't released. So if you're just turning your wrist, why would the butt end come away from the palm? I just told you that's the whole idea. It can just hang out on the palm. So if you turn up to the ceiling, it's going to be on the palm. We want to release it. Then it's going to come to the palm as we make our blow, as we move through the air. It's still on the palm, it's on the palm, it's on the palm. The impact on the surface is going to want to push it away from the palm. We're going to follow through with a squeeze. Maintain that so that we can release it again. Release, squeeze. Do that in the other hand. It's got to be real low. If you're up here, how are you going to release? We're down here, releasing, barely moving. If you stop here, it won't work. So we're talking about the right. Starting to happen. Feel that stick. It wants to bounce off the surface when you get to the floor. It's just sitting on the palm, but it comes away from the palm right there when you release. Don't get higher and higher. Stay nice and low. Don't go lifting up. It starts with a bend. If you go lifting up, it'll just stay on the palm. Now put them together, back and forth. Just keep doing that. Keep doing that. Don't start giving me this routine. Just make a motion. Make a motion. Where's your right? Where's your right? Get it. Keep it low. Ready to go. Now, come on, eighth notes. Go.
Whoa.
Keep that motion. Release, 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 release. Come on, now put the other.
Why can't I put these together, Carson?
Release. There it is. Starting to happen.
Well, come on, man.
Yeah, the hand going up and releasing gives you your appoggiatura, your grace note. Up, 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 da, 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 da.
All right, I gotta reset my head for a second. I start off with.
So what's going to happen on the very first note? Well, wait a minute. The right hand isn't going to be making a tap on the way up.
No, it'll be up here.
Right? It's going to go up. It's going to go up. Fingers will be relaxed, but it's not touching. Right? So there's not much of it's a different feeling. Right? We're going up. We know that as we come down for a blow, the other hand has to start making its journey with that little tap. Can you do that? What's that? Nope. Left hand has to make a journey up. It has to bend forward and make a tap and then go up. No, the right hand's going to go up in the air and just get to the top of the apex. There you go. Now make a little tap and go up in the left. There it is, there. But when you go up, you have to be pointing down. So, just take your time. No, you're not getting anywhere right now. You're just treading water. You have to start again because you had it. You have to get your right hand in position, top of the apex. There you go. In slow motion, start to come down and feel the left hand release and go up and wait. There, wait. Don't, just wait. Make the tap and wait. Start again, you had it. But you didn't wait. Okay. Go on up in the left and point down and wait. Go on, make a tap and go up. No, you got to bring the right hand down just after you tap. Now, no, the left hand goes up pointing down. That's it. Go on. No, almost. You got it. The left hand, show me what the left hand is going to do. No, just the left. Now just separate. No, no, we're in remedial world right now. The left hand is just going to make the beginning half of the motion. How do you, like that? There, you see you're pointing down. You're pointing your first finger. And I've been telling you about that for a while. That's the Spivak. You're releasing your first finger. Don't do it. There you go. Just show me what the left will do. There. Did it make a tap? Wait. Got it. Come back down. That's what it's going to do. Now raise the right. Get to the apex. And come on, with the left, it's going to go up and point down. It has to come just before the right comes down and lands. Time it. No, it's not pointing down. You're just going like this. Sorry about that. No.
And it sucks.
Treading water. No. You just don't, you have to concentrate. No. You have to go up.
So I'm up here.
And the left is going to down.
It has to come up and this will come down.
There. Now the right's going to go up and point down. No, you didn't let it point down. No, it's bringing it up too soon. You got to point down and stop. But we're medial. Come on, point down on the right. No, it has to land just before the right makes its impact. No, you didn't wait. The right should be pointing down. No, when you tap. But yeah, first you have to tap just before the right. The left lands. The left has to land there. No, you're not pointing down. No, you're not pointing down. No, yeah, there you go. But the right has to come down. No, the right has to come down just after. And the left, no, you pull the right up.
It's
There, no, you should be pointing down. We're doing it. You're doing it.
okay. Hang on.
There, no, you're not pointing down. That should like that.
I'm missing something here. Hang on. I'm up here. I'm doing a flam. Okay. So
There you go. See, you're pointing down. There you go. Good. You did it. There you go. Now go the other way and do that. Go the other way and do that.
I didn't do it.
No, you're not pointing down. No, go the other way and do that. You have to break this up. Break this down.
Okay, so
There it is. To stop. Once you make your tap, stop.
we're gonna do it again.
Yeah, do it again. Come on, go up. Let point down.
Here.
Left.
Or up here.
There,
It should
don't point
be
down.
pointing down
That's
there.
right. It points down. Do it again.
Here. So, hey, this is come up.
Do it again. There it is. Now the left's up. The right should be at the floor. You just made a tap. It should be low. You remember to stop. No, you have to point down on the right. So get the left up at two of the apex. There you go. Now the right's going to point down as you go up. No, it doesn't go up. It points down.
You go back up, it just goes.
It just points down. There it is. Stop. You don't stop, dude.
I'm missing.
It doesn't matter. Just stay with me. It'll just become part of you. Just follow
Alright.
me. I get it. If you let your
I got
mind.
the old way of thinking here. It's
If you let, I know. Pascal hard.
Let's just do this again. Hang on.
Yeah. So just stay with me. I'll guide you through it. Left's going to point down and go up. Point down. There. Stop. Stop. You got stop. Just stop.
Alright,
Now, your left has just made a downstroke and it's at the floor.
Uh-huh.
Your right has made an upstroke and it's gone up. So the right is high and the left is low.
Uh-huh.
Now, and the right is at the apex. Now you're going to reverse it. The right's going to make its blow and the left's going to go up. You have to turn up to the ceiling in the right. Slow. You can do it slow. Now the left's going to make a tap and go up. Just before the right. There it is. Stop. Stop. Point down in the left. Point down. Get your right down to the floor.
Can you show me? I want to watch you do it.
No. You get your right down to the floor. Come on, get it down. You just made it. No, get it down. There. Get the left up. There. See, your right just went clunk and it's down at the floor, and your left went up. Now your left's gonna go down and stop at the floor, and the right's gonna go up and point down. Do it. Just do it. Just feel it. Come on. You have to make a strike with your left. Yeah, come on. You have to make a strike with your. Go on up. Set up your left. Get to the apex.
Oh,
There. No, you're not pointing down on the right.
I'm pointing the wrong way and it's just baffling.
Just stay with me. Just keep following my lead.
All right, so
Left's got to get up. Right's going to point down as it makes a tap just before the right lands.
For left lands.
So before the left land, no, but you're not pointing down on the right. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
You got it though, dude. Right's going to go up, up, now. It's not
Oh, it's got to point down and just be like, okay.
now it's up. Okay. Get it in. There, point down, point down. Now your left is flat and down, and your right's up. Now go the other way. No, you have to point down in the left. Do it again. Don't you went too fast. Set your right up. No, set your right up. Get to the apex. Set your right up. The left's going to go up, pointing down. Take your blow. There. Stop. Get the right more flat. Just finish the downstroke. No, keep your left up. Left's up. Now go the other way. Make a blow on your left, and the right's going to point down. And it'll be up, pointed down. Come on. There you
Wait, up.
There it is. There it is, almost. Okay, so you're just going to have to work on that. And you asked me to show you, okay?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, no, I get it.
It's really a brain teaser here. Not only working with half.
Cool. Well, we could just leave it alone. And
No, this is good.
no, I could just kind of have you playing flams, and we go back to it later.
No, this is
Yeah,
good.
right, I know.
I don't quit.
I have more, I'm showing proper deference for your mind and talent. So
I
yeah,
don't quit. Let's keep going.
I love it. Okay, so here's what I'm doing. I got my grip, right? I know the first finger, thumb, they're firm coming. I know that if I just let everything hang, the sticks would come up and they wouldn't be at the right angle. So I'm gonna improve my angle. And so I get a nice, comfortable, beautiful, efficient throw. And then, see, one hand is going to go up, and as it comes down, the other hand will go up. If I'm playing eighth notes, it would go. See, one's up. See how the one that's up high makes it blow. The other hand pointing down, pointing down, pointing down, pointing down. Release, squeeze. I'm talking about my right. Release, squeeze, release. Squeeze, squeeze, release, 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 only release what choose, squeeze. Just make this, eventually it's this thing. You just keep
I
it.
understand it. I just have to get
Right?
it.
I know you
It's
do.
all very small.
So, sort of, but you have to come up to get an action. If you don't come up very high, then you really have to have that Murray speed back. Bunch of force. That's not what Dick would do.
No.
Although he was aware that you could add force. I guess under certain circumstances, he would. Okay, so let's keep moving. But you're just you can watch the video
Yeah.
and just study it, because all you're doing is you're going to set one hand up so it's at the apex, depending on which one you want to start with. And the other hand's down. And then in slow motion, you're going to start to make your blow. And just before the hand that's going to make the blow, it has to have a note come before it. And that hand's going to go up. And then that hand's going to come down. And the other hand's going to...
That's what I'm doing. I'm not putting a stroke the right
and
way.
forth. Back and forth.
Okay, well, I'm not doing, this is what I wasn't doing. I wasn't doing the actual stroke. I was just doing this nonsense.
I know.
I wasn't going that way.
You were all down when I met you.
Yeah.
There was no upstroke. The only way you get notes going this way is if you learn how to go up, leaving the beat down.
Did the suck stroke, not the upstroke. I get it.
It's you are getting it. Okay.
I get it. Don't do the suck stroke. Don't play the brown note.
So that is another way I think that's a cool way to talk about squeezing numbers.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
now let's just go over some of the things. Now that you're thinking in these terms, pull out stick control, right?
Stick control stuff.
Takes a while, you know. And I did a bit of gabbing at the beginning, but I think it's important. I think we're into theory, and then we put that into practicum. Now we're going to take that theory and put it into practicum with regards to page 5 of stick control, right? Okay, and I'll connect it with what we just did, hopefully. That was good, man. Okay, so typically I think I had to 63, 69. Really, Dick has, Murray had me to half note 80 to 84. Dick had me as a half note from 72 to 80. Okay? All right. Now we're not really going to have to be dealing with squeeze and release, are we? Are you aware of that? I don't know if you are. It doesn't matter because you will be in a sec, right? But a bunch of none of the kind of cornerstone concepts don't go away, right? We have our grip, right? We have the angle that we're looking for. I've had some students get pretty bugged.
Okay.
It's like, I don't want to play like this. It's okay, right? I've seen other people play like this. It's okay. All right, so I understand. Okay, so we're doing that throwing for 3, and that would be number 9, right? So how's that going to work? Let's see. Don't play. Okay. Now what am I doing? What part of that is connected? I'm not squeezing and releasing, really. I think it's a mistake to
Just
doing
throwing
all
and
kinds of
releasing?
stuff. This is where if you're too intelligent, you can end up confusing someone. And so it's really very simple. Squeeze and release is what I described at the beginning.
Yeah.
Period. That's it. Dick wants to bounce off the surface. We don't let it because we squeeze. The fact that we've squeezed means now we have something to release. And it's real simple. And the stick doesn't go flying around in the air. It's just in your hand. And okay, now that idea of the Dick Wilson throw relative to the Spivak, I'm not doing this routine. I'm not doing that. Well, I'm doing what I told you, which is as fast as you go up is as fast as you go down. Stick is laying in my hand. Where's it? Murray would say, where's it gonna go? That still confused me. Well, I said, well, blah, 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 blah. He says, well, where's it gonna go? And I know what he means. See, that's the idea of the stick just lays in the hand, okay? So we have to make that motion. We're not doing a release right now. We're not making an upstroke. We're going to use that idea of just making this beautiful motion with this nice angle. And then when we land, here, what are we going to call this? Dick wouldn't call it a release because it's real simple. Squeeze and release is what I described to you.
Mm-hmm.
This he would call you just land open. Does it have a feeling of what it was like when we released? See, that's confusing.
That's loose.
That confused. It's a little more bent. You land open, which means you're bent forward a little bit. That's how we get a rebound. The wrist is essentially flat, and as soon as we cross over what is parallel 1/2 inch bead to butt end, the hand starts to open. If we start from this position, like an upstroke, it's immediately ready to open. It hasn't gone up and has to cross over this, oh, I don't know, zero bias line. Doesn't travel through infinity, right? It starts here. Okay, so we're aware of that. Now, that's it. We don't throw our fingers open. We're just going to make that beautiful motion that is incredibly simple. The stick is on the palm, butt end's on the palm. We're going to make that beautiful motion. And apparently, I guess, Dick would even though he would write it as a sonata, you don't have to make it an accent, but you can turn pretty, you can come up more, you can come up and then get rebound. So as soon as I get to here, half-inch parallel V to butt end, I know that my hand is going to start to open. And when I'm done with how many notes I want, I come back to the floor and my hand closes. We've discussed this, so you already have a lot of knowledge. I'm reframing it a little bit for you, okay? So if you put your metronome on at 72, go ahead and just to see what it looks like.
I had to throw. Sloppy.
It's not too bad. Now remember, stop playing for a minute. Just stop, and just wait at the floor. Wait at the floor. How's your angle? It looks a little, that's what's sloppy. See, you were right, but you didn't know why you were right. We want this beautiful alignment. We're looking for this. We're looking for this. That's good, dude. You don't make a throw in your left. Just with this grip, just turn your wrist. But it's just going to be hanging out on the palm, right? Really simple, like a kid. They wouldn't be doing all this fancy stuff. Don't make a motion in your left. Just make a little tap. You're at the floor, and you just turn your wrist with that grip I showed you. You have to turn up just a little and come back down. Not bad, Carl. Now make a bigger throw in your right. See what happens. Yeah, you have to come up more. It immediately gives you more volume. All you have to do, you don't have to do any nonsense, thinking that you've got a wrist turn. It's a motion. And yes, I guess it is other than the rest. But I'm not thinking about this. I'm thinking about making a beautiful motion. Go straight up. That's the puppet on a string. Stop for just a sec. I'll give you a little classic, right?
Yeah.
The puppet on a string routine.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it feels like. You're flat here, and then you lift it up. Puppet master, that hurts a little bit, but I don't care. It's for the sake of art. And then, just like your foot, remember I said, you come up, it just drops. It doesn't go up, and then the stick comes behind you, and it just drops. And by virtue of dropping it, you don't have to do that. That'll happen by itself.
That's excellent.
The rest, it's inherent in the human body, it seems. Just think of the puppet master lifting you up and then dropping. And it'll give you the motion. Keep your wrist nice and loose. The higher you come up, the more volume you'll get. Don't forget your other hand making that beautiful turn, which was very good. You know, every time the hand that's making the throw gets to the surface, now we don't want to squeeze. We'd stop it from rebounding. Now we're going to allow the hand to open. We land open. Okay, go careful with your index finger in the left. Because remember, you're going to end up squeezing and releasing with your first finger. Then your thumb's going to have to do something that's less efficient. Go the other way now. It's really good, man.
This means off one.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw what you did there. That was good. I'm gonna do that. You know, it feels like I'm just throwing for 3. It doesn't feel like I'm making enough stroke. Dick never talked about making enough stroke. We can do something in that direction, but all you're really doing, see, keep it simple. You throw for 3, and then you make a quick motion. You have to come up pretty fast to get it to come back down fast. If you come up lethargically, then you have to do that Murray thing and start adding thrust.
I'm not trying not to do that.
Yeah, it's good, dude. Just throw, right? You're just making this beautiful motion over and over with this proper alignment and the grip. And stay low so that the stick can rebound and maintain bottom, and so that you maintain bottom of the bead. And then you're gonna come up again. Stick's gonna rebound, rocking over the fulcrum. Okay, now I'm gonna this is a subtlety because it's pretty good, but it's funny. The hand that is really obviously more difficult. Let me gab for a minute. Carl, I know. It is.
Yeah, no, my grip is a little funky on
No,
this.
it's okay. So that's not the problem. So you're okay. So just let me guide you so that you're not fixing things that don't need fixing. Sure, I told you you don't want to be squeezing and releasing with your first finger and thumb. So I pointed that out. So, but just as it was going from right to left, so that the right was making the throws, it's clearly the hand that's throwing that seems more difficult, right? You've got to make this motion. You've got to get to the surface. You've got to let the hand open. You've got to do it over and over. That seems harder than the other hand that is just going tap, tap, tap.
Sometimes.
Tap. But here's what you're doing. Instead of just doing this, you're doing this. And waiting up here, the other hand's going da, 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 and then it goes da, da, da. I can't even do it. Da, 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 and what the hand's
You
going.
want to do it. I get it.
So just let me put a cap on this. So that just like there is a timing, this up to come down thing is huge. So that if I want to throw with this kind of Dick Wilson approach, I'm going to time it. And that means, you see, the speed I go up is the speed I come down. Well, why would it change if you're not making a throw and you're just turning? See, the speed I go up is the speed I come down. I'm just not throwing. And you'll notice that the wrist is doing that. When I make a throw, the wrist is going down, up. It's the same speed. So this whole thing is connected and very simple. So show me what a little wrist trim looks like in your right. I know it seems so simple. That's it. Up, wait. Just so that the right. You don't have to come up too high. It's a little tiny tap. Yeah, about that. And the speed it goes up is the speed it comes down. Think about that. See? Speed it goes up is the speed that's all it is. Sitting in the hand, nice angle with that grip. You let the fingers snuggle together, and you just do that. That's it. No squeeze and release, no nothing. The other hand is making that beautiful motion and landing open. That's it. Go ahead and play it now, 72. Wait, start again. No, keep your metronome on, but just get your setup. You don't start with one dip down. It's real simple, but you have to get the setup or everything's flat. Then it dips down. And the other hand stays flat and just turns same speed up and down. Don't wait in the air on your right. That's the weight at the floor. There it is. and then you lift it up. If you wait in the air, you're only going down. You see, it's down and it bounces up. Wheel up to come down. Make a bigger throw on your left and you got it. Stay down on your right. If that's your agent, tell him you're busy. Keep going.
All right, brother.
Keep going. Focus on both hands. Now split your mind. The right is just making a little turn. The right has to wait at the floor. Floor. Not in the air. Down lower. There it is. And get that left hand to come up a little higher. You can make a bigger motion. But why is your right in the air? Look, your right's in the air right now. Get it down.
Okay.
You got it. Forever. There it is. Come on, raise the left. Come on, raise a little higher. Come on up. Come on up. Give me the gooseneck. A little more gooseneck. There it is. Concentrate on your. All right. There's your right, stopping at the floor. Got it. All right. We're just going to work on that. You're going to work on. Now we're at 72, so we've crept up the metronome to Dick Wilson's indicated speed, and we're just going to work on 9 through 12. Just focusing on that, and not thinking, yeah, I got it. Well, your right hand is in the air, and your left is making a pretty good throw. You only have half of it. Got to get the right down, and it just turns. But you did beautifully today.
Left likes to mutiny on me every now and then. I notice the stick will start to slide out of my hand every now and then. I may sand them down a bit, put a piece of tape on it or something.
I learned that from Jay Canna. I noticed in between tunes, he sometimes pull out a sheet of sandpaper. What's he doing? He's sanding the tips, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. You're talking about making the stick a little more tacky. Anyway, right? But we maintained a tact today, and it's very simple. Think like a child. I'm gonna turn off the camera.
That's easy for me.